Hi, I'm Celine, and this is my dog Fella. We live in Revelstoke, BC, a small town with big adventures, big snowfall, and a big dog-loving community. From the snowy peaks of avalanche country to the remote forests of tree planting camps to sled dog trails and veterinary clinics, I've had the privilege of working with dogs in some of the most challenging and awe-inspiring environments. This has given me a unique insight into the practical skills and knowledge needed to keep our best buddies safe in the great outdoors.
How's it going? How's it going? Oh, you know. 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 It ain't so bad. I can't complain. Seems like some things will never change. Seems like some things will never be the same. How's it going? How's it going? Oh, you know. 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 Got a hole in my boot, and my shoelace broke. So did my truck, spent my last buck on a pack of small. Whoa, whoa, whoa. How's it going? How's it going? Oh, you know. 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 I fell in love the first time. Since the first time I fell in love. We're holding hands. We're holding hands. We're holding hands.
Revi is a town of committed dog owners, adventurers, outdoor enthusiasts, and people who consider themselves stewards of the planet. Our series, Call of the Wild, is inspired by the enduring human-animal bond and how this bond is shaped by the untamed nature in this area. It's about companionship, safety, and a deep respect for all living things that draws us to these wild places. Join me and my best friend Fella as we dive into the incredible lives of dogs in rugged outdoor environments and discover what it truly means to answer the call of the wild.
Claire Laura Morrissey started Downriver Extension 17 Convoy. Good morning.
Morning. Behind me, they're a little ways though.
Oh, slow pokes.
Yeah. 42.5 down full.
Tree planting. It's a world many don't see, and one that has been part of my life for over a decade. Following the rhythm of winter snowmelt, our season starts in the spring and goes well into the dog days of summer, eventually ending in the fall as the leaves begin to change again. The world of tree planting is a wild, weird, and wonderful blend of endurance, nature, and community. It's a place where toughness is celebrated, individuality is embraced, and dogs become a core part of our daily lives.
Oh, you know. 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 It ain't so bad. I can't complain. Seems like some things will never change. Seems like some things will never be the same. How's it going? How's it going? Oh, you know. 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 Oh, you know.
Tree planting is a unique world shaped by the extreme nature of the job, the diverse community of people it attracts, and the deeper connection we all have to both the environment and each other.
So did my truck, spent my last buck on a pack of small. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
While tree planting is often seen as an individual task, there's a strong team component. We start each morning as a team with a safety meeting to go over the risks, hazards, and objectives of our day. Given the remoteness of our work, establishing emergency response plans and risk mitigation tactics is important for all of our safety. Our crews are often comprised of a ragtag group of adventurous individuals from many different walks of life. Mornings are a place for us to come together, some of us still half asleep, while others are charging to go. The dogs are usually the most excited ones around. Once our tailgate meeting is done, we find our way to our respective zones within the cut block and begin our day. Out here, dogs become more than just pets. They're part of our crew. While they provide countless benefits, from boosting morale and strengthening the community, our dogs also face the same risks and hardships as us. At about 2,100 meters here, which is very high for a cut block, and it's in this really beautiful kind of subalpine saddle. So there are quite a lot of risks of exposure with that. You know, today is quite a sunny day, so risks being dehydration, overexertion. Hydrating is really important for all bodily functions, but with our chronic overuse injuries like tendonitis, that definitely flares up more when you're dehydrated, and that also applies to the dogs. It's really important for me to remember to bring lots of water for Fella as well as myself. If there was an emergency, if it was humans or dogs, we have a satellite phone. I'm the first aider, I'm the medic, so that's why I keep a radio on me at all times. So anyone that's on this cut block can get a hold of me. It's really important that people know where they are on the cut block, how to call for help. So in the event that they're really far up the tree line or potentially down in a gully where I can't see them, they can communicate how I need to get to them. And again, sometimes that happens with dogs. We've had dogs get hurt or get stuck, let's say on a cliff top, and people can see them from a distance and aren't able to help. So it is really a team effort to make sure that everybody stays safe out here, because this job is pretty dangerous, as you can see, and it's really important that we do what we can with what we know to make sure that we stay safe and have a good day at work. We're planting spruce and pine. These guys are spruce. They like shade and wet, lower, kind of like depressions. This is pine, so these guys look a little different than the spruce. They look like little pom-poms almost. And these are grown from cones, so pine cones and spruce cones that are collected at a very high elevation so that they can thrive in this area. If you can imagine planting a tree that was supposed to be growing at like sea level, won't do well at about 2,200 meters. So these are grown specifically for the area that we're planting in. Considered a Canadian rite of passage, tree planting has been described as one of the most physically demanding modern-day jobs. The job requires endurance, focus, and resilience. We hike long distances, carry heavy loads of tree seedlings, and plant in extreme weather conditions, from cold rain to blistering heat. For context, the weight of the bags we carry are often 40% or more of our body weight, and we walk somewhere around 10 to 20 kilometers a day with them on. Planting trees requires sustaining a continuously high output, equivalent almost to running a marathon each day. I will meet you guys, or I'll just see you up there. Tree planting is often a fast-paced, high-pressure job where the focus is on efficiency and speed. An experienced tree planter can plant up to 2,000 to 3,000 trees per day in challenging terrain. If you're willing to work hard, it can be an immensely rewarding and transformative job, not just for your bank account, but also for your own introspective evolution that expands how much pain and discomfort you can endure. Like many other planters, I use the long hours of repetitive work as a form of meditation, gaining mental clarity and emotional resilience. The isolation can certainly be challenging, but it also fosters a unique sense of peace and mindfulness, where small moments, like sitting with my dog and simply admiring the view, become deeply meaningful. I do a lot of work to ensure Fella and his friends are safe on the block. In return, the dogs instinctively look out for all of their humans, staying close by and offering both protection and companionship. Beyond their role as companions, our dogs often act as informal guardians for us. In remote locations, we might encounter wildlife such as bears, wolves, or other animals.
So there's a lot of hunting around this area, and in addition to the logging truck traffic that we encounter on the roads, we also encounter a lot of hunters. So something to really consider for our dog safety in the bush is safety around the wildlife that they're hunting, but also the hunters and their dogs themselves. So tree planters in the past have encountered their dogs have either been trapped in a conibear trap, like the big bear traps, snares, which are around their neck, like a noose, or these live traps where it's essentially like a cage. So I am always very mindful of keeping an eye on my dog and knowing if there is a trap line in the area and what to do to avoid any harmful encounters like that. In the wilderness with wildlife and with hunters, making sure our dogs wear high visibility collars, using GPS collars, being aware of active trap lines and hunting seasons, and making sure that we make it very clear that we are on a work site. So actually having a notice board at the entrance of our cut block to indicate there are workers in this area. We can't tell them not to hunt here, but just so that they're aware.
Well, I had me a wife, gave me trouble all my life, left me out in the cold rain and snow, rain and snow, oh, Lord. Left me out in the cold rain and snow.
Okay, we're at the end of our planting day. We're both exhausted. I try to make a habit of doing a full body scan for myself, just to check in at the end of the day, see what kind of aches and pains I've got, but also for my dog. They're in this work environment with us. They're climbing through slash, they're jumping off of steep embankments, and potentially hurting themselves. So before I leave at the end of the day, I really do a very intentional full body scan with Fella to make sure that there aren't any cuts on his paws. He doesn't have any sore joints or any sore parts on his body that he might not indicate otherwise, unless I checked, and that his nails are all good and not ripped. He's pretty tired, so right now he's pretty ready to go home, but I do this first to make sure that there isn't anything that goes unnoticed. I start with his head, give him a big kiss, thank him for the work that he did today, keeping me safe. I check his ears. Sometimes they get stung by bugs, so they sometimes have little bites in there. The chest and down in here is often where they get impalements or small scratches from jumping over slash. Their shoulders and their elbows right here and their wrists take a lot of beating when they're running downhill. So being really mindful and gentle with that. And then actually checking in between every toe and looking at every paw pad. Good boy. And making sure there isn't any cuts. I work my way down his body. Sometimes they'll do a little shudder, or their muscles will kind of spasm in an area that's quite painful. For big dogs like Fella that have a really long spine, they tend to have a lot of back problems when they get older from all that rotational force on their body. And then again with big dogs, the hips and the knees are always sore at the end of a big day. So some gentle massage, working my way down, feeling if there's any tension when I try to bend his knee or his ankle. This is called a hawk and a stifle in dogs. The tail, he's got some fluffs coming out right now. So I also like to give his coat a really good brush, just in case there's any ticks, any burrs, any pine needles, or any dirt that's getting trapped into his coat that can be a source of irritation.
Well, I had me a wife, gave me trouble all my life. Left me out in the cold rain and snow. Rain and snow, oh, Lord. Left me out in the cold rain and snow.
After a long day of work, we return home, which for us is our bush camp. Tree planting camps are typically set up deep in the wilderness, often far away from the nearest town. Accessible only by dirt roads or logging routes, our camp is far removed from urban life, which means limited access to amenities and the outside world. We live in these temporary camps for weeks or months at a time. Accommodations are usually basic. While each person has their own tent or personal space, the heart of the camp is the communal areas. There's usually a large dining tent or tarp-covered area where the meals are served, and planters and dogs alike gather to unwind after a long day. There's something rejuvenating about coming back to camp. It helps put the day's challenges in perspective and offers a sense of balance. Regardless of how good or bad your day may have gone, everyone looks forward to coming home to a warm meal, a hot shower if you're lucky, and all the camp dogs that have been waiting patiently for our return. Their presence softens the hard edges of our job. Dogs are also natural social catalysts for us, as they somehow always find a way to bring us together and create a sense of unity and camaraderie. Whether it's sharing stories about the dogs and their unique quirks, taking turns caring for them, sneaking leftover scraps from the mess tent, or laughing at their antics, these shared moments strengthen bonds among our crew. The shared hardships of planting create a strong sense of solidarity among the planters and our dogs. It's common for planters to develop lifelong friendships in these camps, and it's not just us making friends. Our camp has 11 dogs this season. It's a lot of wagging tails.
I'm the cook in this tree planting camp. This is London Dog. She's 14 and a half and she's been living in planting camps for just over 7 years. I think morale goes way up when you have dogs in camp. I think everyone loves playing with the dogs, interacting with the dogs.
We celebrated London's champagne birthday, so on the 14th of February, which was Valentine's Day, she turned 14. So we got to have a dog party for London for her 14th, which is a big milestone for a dog.
Totally. Celine brought this little like birthday cake shaped squeaky toy. It was a hit. And a little hat.
Well, she came down the stairs, combing back her long yellow hair, and her cheeks were as red as the rose, Lord. And her cheeks were as red as the rose.
And this is my dog Zephyr. He's a border collie. And in the bush camp here, I'm the project manager, so I kind of oversee the day-to-day operations and make sure everything runs smooth. Zephyr's job is to chase all the ground squirrels out of camp and constantly pester tree planters to throw toys for him. Yeah, so outside of planting, I actually live in an off-grid acreage, so a lot of work there. Me and him going out into the bush still just for fun to cut firewood to keep ourselves warm during the winter, as well as just kind of doing laps around the property to make sure everything is still all good and in place. And then in the winter time, I work as a professional ski patroller, and Zephyr is my partner at work. He's my avalanche search and rescue dog, and he also helps me volunteer in the winter with our local search and rescue group to attend to any backcountry emergencies that might involve avalanches. I've taken a pet first aid course before, where I learned some kind of preventative things I can do for him, as well as annual checkups, making sure all his shots are up to date. And then at work, we have some specialized winter equipment that we use. He's got some goggles that he can wear, some ear protection to protect his ears in case we have to fly in a helicopter, as well as a working harness. It's got a handle on him, so if I need to for some reason, I can just pick him up and carry him around with me. I've just worked really hard on his obedience, and he's trained with an emergency down command that's kind of more serious than our casual down command, so he knows to it's time to stop and drop and stay there until dad shows up, as well as a really, really good recall. You know, I've trained him that coming back and hanging out with me and playing with me is way more fun than chasing wildlife, so he elects to choose that over his kind of inherent prey drive, as you can see as he's hounding me. Take it for this toy that he really wants. Take it! Yeah, good boy. Out, sit, high five, high five. Touch, touch, and meerkat, yes. They are tenacious. Yeah, if they don't have a job, they can get destructive. As you can see right here, his attention is fully on this toy. He wants to play tug of war more than anything. So getting to work in the wintertime keeps his brain busy because, yeah, with high energy dogs like this, it's not just about getting lots of physical exercise. They're so smart, their brains need to be worked out too. And if they're not solving problems, doing nose work or hurting something and getting their brain worked out, they get destructive and can be quite a handful.
When we're rolling into camp, the dogs just get so excited, and we just open the doors, let them out, and they all just run into camp, and you can see all of them. Every dog gets so excited to come here. I think it's the companionship too. These two are homies since day one.
Yeah.
And I think they really thrive off each other. Yeah. For planters, everyone loves having camps that have dogs and have a bunch of them, you know, and it definitely adds to another level of the life that we try to come live out here.
To summarize who Brooks is to someone who doesn't know him, because he's quite a character, how would you describe him if he was a cartoon character?
I think that's the best way to describe him. He's just simply a cartoon character. He's kind of developed a limp in the last year or so, and we kind of thought it was from an injury, this and that, but I mean, once you see him run across the field, you kind of understand. He doesn't run, he gallops. He gallops like a horse, and I think he's just he's a cartoon character that's just full of the derpiness. He's such a derpy, happy boy. But I think he's the happiest dog I've ever seen. I think everyone can attest to that when they see Brooks run up to him. He is smiling. He's always just a smiling boy.
We're in our bush camp here, and in every tree planting camp there is a safety board so that all of the workers know all the information that's pertinent to being in the outdoors, and especially being in an emergency, being far away from help. So we have a lot of information about safety alerts, some data collected over the years about our workplace hazards, occupational health and safety resources, which are really helpful, work site injury prevention. Our job is really hard on the bodies, so knowing how to prevent injuries from happening is really important. So another thing that we include in our tree planting camp on our safety board is some information about dog safety in the bush. That shows us all the information that we need to know about wound management, life-saving interventions like CPR, as well as what to do if they encounter poison ivy, porcupines, or have a dog fight in the woods.
Well, I did all I can do to try and make peace with you, but I'm not gonna be treated this way, this old way. Whoa, Lord. No, I'm not gonna be treated this way.
Life in the bush brings a strange sense of unity. No one escapes the cold, the rain, the heat, or the bugs. We learn a deep respect for nature as we witness firsthand the cycles of destruction and renewal. We become part of that renewal process, restoring ecosystems by planting new life that will eventually become forests. Planters leave with more than just sore muscles. We leave with a renewed sense of purpose and profound respect for the natural world. It humbles all of us in a way that nothing else can, reminding us that no matter who you are or where you come from, we're all animals out here, all answering the call of the wild.
Well, I did all I can do to try and make peace with you, but I'm not gonna be treated this way, this old way. Whoa, Lord. No, I'm not gonna be treated this way. Well, she walked up to her room, there she met her fatal doom. No, I'm not gonna be treated this way, this old way.